Hi there, it's Carlos here at Carlos Coaching Corner once again. Guys, I've got an interesting subject for you guys today, and basically I've had a couple of emails about this, and basically I'd like to talk to you guys about this. And this one is in particular, how can we build good players through the grassroots? Now obviously I've done a couple of videos about this, but this one in particular is from a couple of coaches that asked me and said, how can we build good players from the grassroots? Now, one of the things I said to this, and to answer that question very quickly, is we need to be able to create the right environment, the right habitat for players. And what I mean by that is you need to create basically a good foundation and a good environment for the player to be able to express themselves. So you got to make sure that at your club or your team, what you are doing as a coach in terms of coaching sessions, even the way you explain things, your players, the parents, the fans, are really working together with you in order to build good players. Because I tell you, I hear more than often people just completely going berserk, in particular youth team players. What I mean by that is young players, you know, like players are 9, 10 years of age, and there's people on the side shouting and screaming at these kids. I mean, a lot of these kids, I know, they're frightened to death to even do anything, you know. And I always say this: if you basically, you know, scare a young kid, you know, from playing football, he won't do it. He won't do it for you. I always give the example of this, you know, if you start learning a language, for instance, and all of a sudden someone shouts at you every time you make a mistake, will you become good at that language? You'll stop talking about that language. No, you no longer talk that language anymore, you know, even if you were quite good at it. If you made a mistake, we human beings are very sensitive to criticism, you know, and some people more than others. So obviously we've got to make sure that we very much in touch with that and start understanding that. Now, why do we criticize obviously too much? That was another question. I mean, that's one thing that I would always say, that doesn't even make sense to do that, because by criticizing a player, you're not getting nothing out of it. Encourage the player, coach the player, motivate the player. If anything, if you don't know how to coach, just motivate them. And with motivation, I mean, if you talk to any top sportsman out there, these guys get motivated by top coaches, and they even motivate themselves. They've got to do it. It's not by criticism, it's not by negativity, it's by constructive when I say constructive criticism, but with positive coaching. Not criticism without no backing up of good coaching or good elements of positivity. So we've got to make sure that we are doing that. Now, the other thing is, what is the point? Why is the point of doing it? Why is the point of criticizing it? You know, there's no, you know, there's no point really doing it, because you're not going to go anywhere. That player, if he can go past people, 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 players, and all of a sudden you start having a go at him every time he tries, you'll stop doing it. So if he's a good passer and he loses the ball and you have a go at him, he'll stop doing it. So whatever he can potentially be good at, or become amazing, or not so good at, but he can become amazing, all of a sudden he'll stop doing it. As I said about the language, you see? So you've got to make sure, you guys as coaches, players, even players that criticize the players, you know, fans, parents, please help these guys. Please allow them to do it, and not make mistakes, but help them develop, and encourage them, develop them. And that's how it is. Now, the final one really, the impact this has on a player. Now, this basically is not, you know, rocket science. If you criticize a player, you know, pretty much week in, week out, they become to have obviously a lot of fear to play for you. And obviously it comes to a point where they don't want to play, and they become very sort of like timid. Even if they might be an extrovert, all of a sudden they just don't want to express themselves. Remember, if you were to become a singer, right, or you're a good singer, obviously I'm not a good singer, so I'm not going to start singing, otherwise it'll start raining very soon. But basically, if I was to become a singer and I wanted to sing, or I was a singer, I would have to practice day in, day out to become good at it. I'd make lots of mistakes. I wouldn't want someone to start shouting at me. I want someone to encourage me, to coach me to get to the highest level. Even people that wouldn't know about singing, I would want them to inspire me. So the same with football. Why do we change in football? You know, I love passionate people. I love people that like to say, you know, come on, guy out there, and go and close that guy down. Come on, shoot. Oh, nearly score. Fantastic. But a lot of the times I don't hear that. Well, I hear that, but I hear a lot of other things that I don't like to repeat on camera. And that kind of hurts me really, because I see kids out there with tremendous ability, absolutely tremendous ability. I'll give you an example. I watched this week a game, I'm not going to name who the team was. I saw a kid get the ball with his left foot and he got past 4 players. He basically nearly scored. And I tell you what, the abuse he got from the side, that kid, you might as well soaked him, because he never wanted to touch the ball again. That's an example, and I thought, because of that, and great, I had this email from you guys asking about this, great, that's a great example. Okay, I hope that was informative for you guys. Until next time guys, keep inspiring those young footballers and make sure they have reached their full potential, okay? Until next time guys, it's Carlos here at Carlos Coaching Corner, inspiring you once again. Take care of yourselves, bye now.